And we're just going to jump right into it because we're talking about everybody. We're talking about how all of these cultures have coincidentally have all these similar things, right? And so one thing you brought up is the Tamil language and how it goes back so far that the origins were that it was the only language in the world at one time, which made me think of the Tower of Babel story, the Tower of Babel, however you want to say it, where in ancient times there was one language. And if you could just hop right into that for everybody, because that really got me fired up.
This Tamil language it's my native tongue. That's my mother tongue. So I was not very much into Tamil because of the complications involved in learning and mastering that language as a child. In our school, there are like ancient songs that are like 3,000 years old taught.
Wow.
So yes, we still read them and study them and follow that like a Bible because of the philosophies in that.
And this is separate from the Vedic text. This is a different thing.
This is totally a different thing. It's
Okay.
nothing to do with the Vedic thing at all.
Okay.
These are from the native people of India who have been there just like they're like 10,000, 20,000 years.
Right.
There are texts in India in this language that talk about tsunamis and big floods and everything. So they are like more than 12,000 years old information. I'm not going to say they are 12,000 years because I don't have any proof.
Yep.
And there's a lot of politics involved in this, trying to suppress this language because of...
Wow.
Right, it's a different race that is being suppressed completely. And because of the significance that this language is the same as in the Indus Valley language.
Right.
And which is the same as in the Easter Island language.
But more ancient.
Just more ancient.
Yeah.
Just different versions of the same language. People who are researching that, they have spent their whole life trying to prove that Tamil is the same as in the Indus script, and Tamil is the same as in the Sumerian text, which is like 5,000 years old. And that makes me think that we should give more importance to this because there is so much information in that.
Of course they're trying to suppress that. If that's really the case, why wouldn't they?
Right.
If they don't want people to think that culture goes back that far and that all these other languages may have spun off from an indigenous from culture on the sub-Indian continent of the subcontinent of India, if there is that long of an ancient tradition, that's gonna mess. That doesn't vibe with their timelines.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So there's kind of this mainstream narrative that we constantly are seeing, where it's just nope. Where are the pot shards? Where's all the data for this? It's like this is like you said. This is my history. This is what our history is. These aren't myths. These aren't legends. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure, definitely. We should not consider. I wouldn't even consider that as my language. I can't say that because of the facts that in Bible we know that we all spoke one same language at one point of time, and we became too powerful. So God came down and confused us and split us all out.
Mm-hmm. And the Tower of Babel fell.
Right, and we all started speaking different languages. So this could be that flood that happened to confuse us all and so separate us all, and we started having different cultures and traditions, and we forgot what we were and who we were and how powerful we were. So looking at certain things like facts that there are 19,000 places in the world that has Tamil names. 19,000 places across the world. I'll give you a few examples, might be interesting for you. Lake Erie, where you have the Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
So Erie is the name for a lake in Tamil. So,
Really?
Yeah, it's just called Erie. Erie means lake. And there is a place called Amma in California. And Amma means mother.
Mm-hmm.
So I can give you so many examples from, there's one researcher called Orissa Balu. He dedicated his life to find out all the routes, the sea routes Tamil people took across the world to go to different places for trade and spreading knowledge and information and selling spices
Sure.
and everything. he has found that the people who migrated from Tamil Nadu to other places like Southeast Asia and other places, they used the sea roots of turtles. So if you see turtles, they come across continent and lay their eggs, and then when the eggs hatch, they go back again. And they don't swim. Turtles cannot swim for so long. So how did these turtles just migrate from one continent to another continent? They found that these turtles, they know when the sea currents happen.
Yep, they just ride with them.
They just ride with the sea currents. And these people, the Tamil people who navigated through the seas, they just followed the turtles. And they have records of that. Records of following turtles and going to different places and establishing, cultures of them. Go to Japan, go to South Korea. There are so many words in the Korean language that is Tamil. There are so many words that is in Japanese that is Tamil. And China has a word called, place called Pandian, which is the name of a king from South India. And Bodhidharma went all the way from Tamil Nadu to China to teach about Kung Fu and also to stop a pandemic that was going to happen at that time. So silk went from Tamil Nadu from Kanchipuram, which is the most famous place for silk. And some people say that Yuan Swang came to India and took the silkworms in a bamboo stick all the way up there. And then we were all connected at some point of time.
Sure.
So much. Even after this whole flood thing happened, and I would say we were all, trying to still establish a connection, trying to, form a very harmonious culture together.